Hey gang, Mark Sweeney here from Austin Dental Spa in beautiful Austin, Texas. If you've tuned in before, you know that every Wednesday afternoon about this time, we've done Wisdom Wednesday for probably going on 6 years now, maybe even closer to 7. And if you've tuned in before, you know we try to keep it fun and keep it somewhat brief, under 10 minutes, and we also try to bring some latest, greatest scientific based evidence that has to do not always with dentistry, but always about just in general health. And then I give a health tip at the end that usually is dental related. And so today is no different. Last day of January. I can't believe the month whizzed by. Every month we have a different theme, and the theme this month was SOAR in 2024. And so we tried to bring each week some topic that would allow you to have a better lifestyle and start off the year soaring. And so today is no different. We're going to talk about foods that are the best foods for your teeth and foods that are the worst foods for your teeth. And so anyway, if you're tuning in for the first time, we also have previous issues of Wisdom Wednesday archived both on our YouTube channel, Austin Dental Spa, and on our Facebook page. So if you like what you see and you want to go back and look at previous episodes, you're welcome to do that. So these two are the K team. Woohoo! Krista and Kirsten, Dr. Krista, Dr. Kirsten. They joined my practice in August, and they've been just a boon to the practice. They both are Invisalign certified, so we've started moving teeth, and we're just having a good time together. So they're joining me on Wisdom Wednesday today because they wanted to be part of the fun. And so, Chris, why don't you tell us what's the best and worst? What's the best foods?
The best
for your
foods.
teeth?
Well, I was just going to ask the audience, do they know what is some of the healthiest drinks you can have and what are some of the worst drinks you can have? We're going to get to that. It
all has to do with inflammation for the most part, because inflammation, everybody's got inflammation in their bodies, and there's a whole lot of research being done right now on the microbiome in the gut, the bacteria, the good bacteria, and some bad bacteria and funguses that live in your digestive system and help you digest your food. And so all the good foods we're talking about affect that microbiome in a good way. So who wants to start us off?
Well, I was just going to ask you, how is dietary fiber related to the health of your mouth and body?
Great question. There are statistics that say that something like 85 to 90% of Americans do not get enough fiber in their systems. And I have several friends that suffer from Crohn's disease, which is a chronic inflammatory disease usually of the colon, but not always. But they have to take fiber. They actually eat things that are high in fiber content, and they even take fiber supplements to, like that, forget the name of that, Kellogg makes a cereal.
Metamucil.
Well, no, there's something like Take One or something that is like all fiber but no taste.
Ew.
And they have to
Yummy.
force themselves to eat a cup of that every day. It sounds like it's like eating cardboard or something, which cardboard does have fiber in it. So, so fiber is a very important part of a healthy diet to help with the inflammation in your body, the way your body handles it, breaks down the fibers, and creates things in your system that can help reduce inflammation.
Absolutely. So let's start with the good guys. Let's talk about the good things for your body and oral health.
Well, we named the first one fiber-rich fresh fruits and veggies.
Fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, that one's easy.
Hate to break it to you, but those are the best sources of fiber.
Yep. Another one is my personal favorite, cheese, milk, plain yogurt's another dairy. I'm from Wisconsin.
Cheesehead from Wisconsin.
You never have to twist my arm to have a piece of cheese.
What else does cheese do? Can also help with
Saliva maker. The calcium and phosphate in milk helps stimulate your saliva glands, and they put the minerals back into your saliva, usually things that you've lost, to help create those healthy stones that we need.
Yeah, we've known for a long time that saliva has a major part to do with breaking the food particles down in your mouth, and it has antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties as well.
Another one is green and black teas.
Yeah, you got me some green tea yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think you liked it.
It was okay. It was green.
Okay.
Yeah, it was green.
So these substances included in teas called polyphenols can either kill or hold back bacteria. That's why you drink the tea?
No, I bought it because she bought it.
No, that's why you drink tea
They
every
didn't
day.
have regular tea, but yeah, usually I like regular old iced tea.
Well, number 4 is sugarless gum. It stimulates those saliva glands to help produce saliva, and it keeps your mouth healthy and produces good enzymes and everything that we need.
Yeah, some of the artificial sweeteners that they put in gum and other non-sugar sweeteners have gotten a bad rap lately, but when you compare it to refined sugar, it's still, any of those things are way better than xylitol is a very popular one, and it actually became very popular during the COVID pandemic that we just had, because they found out that xylitol, there was a nasal spray that had xylitol in it to make it feel and taste kind of sweet, and it actually blocked the ACE2 receptors in your nasopharynx, that they still believe that that's how the COVID particles get into the human body, is through those ACE receptors in your nasal lining. So they sold a lot of that nose spray during COVID. So
All right, let's talk about the bad guys, shall
let's
we?
talk about the bad guys. It's always
Yeah.
more fun to talk
Always
about
more
that.
fun. I know.
The villains.
The villains.
What's number 1?
Number 1 is sticky candies and sweets. We know all that sticky goodness, like gummy bears, just sits there in your teeth, and they soak in with all the sugars, and they just feed those bacteria and all that and they create cavities and cause problems with our teeth.
Caramels, sticky gooey stuff. What about chocolate?
Oh, I love chocolate.
Yeah, and actually chocolate, especially dark chocolate, actually has some beneficial things in it. So if you're gonna eat, they don't give chocolate as bad of a rap as all the other sticky sweets, especially if it's got a lot of dark chocolate in it, because it actually has cacao, I think, in it, the original stuff that chocolate came from, that is actually has some beneficial qualities for your body. And chocolate, typically, unless it's the sticky gooey like a Snickers bar, that it doesn't stick to your teeth. If it's a Hershey's bar, you eat it and the particles don't stay on your teeth because they're not sticky, so they go on down. The sugar is still there to cause some harm and raise your sucrose level, but or blood sugar level. But anyway, if you're gonna choose something, choose a non-sticky chocolate.
And the next is starchy foods, things like bread, potato chips. They can get trapped in your teeth, but even more so, they have sugars in them as well. And that is just something for the bacteria to eat away at your enamel.
Number 3, carbonated sugary soft drinks. We just have one of a family member in our own office was drinking Mountain Dew 2-3 times a day for the past couple of years. Came in, she's got cavities everywhere. So, be careful from those soft drinks.
Mountain Dew and Dr. Pepper
Yeah.
are the worst ones.
Coca-Cola.
Usually the decay is right along the gum lines on the lower molars. And when I see that in a patient that had otherwise healthy mouth a couple of years ago, I'm like, okay, which is it, Dr. Pepper or Mountain Dew? And it's usually one of those two. So
Also, the energy drinks that are really common these days.
And
Yeah.
they're loaded
Gotta
with
check
caffeine
that.
also.
Yeah, gotta
Even
check
orange
that sugar
juice, all the juices, cranberry juice, tons of sugar.
Check the sugar. Check the sugar. And the last thing is anything that dries out your mouth. This can include alcohol and also certain medications for sure.
Yeah, a lot of mouthwashes have alcohol in them, so you want to be a little careful of that as well, because initially they feel like they're making your breath smell better, and the alcohol does kill bacteria, but then the long-term effect is 10 or 15 minutes later, that alcohol dries your oral tissues out, and bacteria can grow back. So use the non-alcohol mouthwashes, and as with everything, moderate your alcohol consumption because it can cause a dry mouth. And if you've got a dry mouth and you sleep with your mouth open, you're increasing the stickiness factor in your mouth so that the bacteria have a better home to live in.
Well, that was great. Mark, I'm ready for your health tip of the week.
Health tip of the week. I grew up back in the 50s and 60s hearing an apple a day keeps the doctor away. And like most of those things that were being said back then, there is some truth to it, because what do apples have in them that are beneficial for you?
Fiber.
The fibers. And so the fibers in apples, and I don't know who came up with that apple a day keeps the doctor away, but when we were kids, if you wanted to butter up the teacher at the end of the semester, you brought her an apple and set it on her desk. And so apples have a lot of other beneficial qualities to it, but for the purposes of today, it's mainly about the fiber. They're fiber rich, so there is something to an apple a day keeps the doctor away, and maybe the dentist too, but that doesn't rhyme as well. So anyway, that's it for our episode of Wisdom Wednesday for the last Wednesday in January. And so we will see you next week for another version of Wisdom Wednesday for the first Wednesday in February. And we'll have a new theme, which I'll introduce then. So have a great week, and I'll see you next week.